Morning, everyone. I had a message from a dentist that I've never met before. He just messaged me randomly on Facebook and asked me for some advice. And I always like to help whenever I can, so I offered my phone number and asked them to call me. And they actually they called me the other day, and they wanted to ask me some questions. The question is, dentist has been working in the government clinic for 7 years, and they want to transition to private practice. And they asked me two questions. Number one, is it better to work in corporate or family practices? And also number two, is it better to jump into private practice or maintain a part-time job in the government, like 2 or 3 days in the government and then 2 or 3 days in private? So I want to share with you my advice to him. For credibility, my name is Khaled. I have been a dentist for 20 years. I run and own my own dental practice, Lakeside Dental Spa in Hervey Bay, Queensland. For 14 years, I have a team of 40 staff members of associate dentists, hygienists, oral health therapists, dental assistant, front office, and managers. I grew my practice from 1 chair to 10 chairs as well over the course of 14 years. So my answer to the dentist was very simple and was based on real life experiences, because I hired dentists who used to work in the government before. And my advice to him, number one, transitioning from government to private is not going to be easy. You're going to face some challenges, and those challenges are the mindset. Your mindset has to be completely different. The way you diagnose and approach cases is going to be different. Now you have to start looking at chronic problems and diagnose them and make sure you treatment plan for them. In the government, sometimes, depends on the location, you're offering more emergency care and less comprehensive dentistry. I just want to be clear, this video is not about who is a better dentist. I believe every dentist has a very integral and important role, whether they are in private practice or government. I'm purely just sharing my experience, how you transition from government to private. Some other challenges are talking to the financial aspects with patients. Now you have to discuss treatment plans. So I advise him, you have to invest a lot in learning. Communication skills are very, very important. Treatment planning courses are super important. Your treatment plan will be very, very different than how you treatment plan in a government clinic. And the mindset, dealing with staff, dealing with patients, dealing with your own little company as your appointment book. You're running your own little private practice in a private practice. I advise him, if you want a smooth transition, if I'm in his position, I will get out of the city and 1 or 2 hours away from city, then you can be guaranteed to get a nice appointment book, fully booked for 5 days a week usually. And if you work in a family practice with a mentor who's happy to support you, in exchange you stay with them for X number of years, 2 or 3 years, it will be a very win-win situation, because they can show you the way in a private clinic. They can mentor you with their case planning and case communication, and the transition can be a lot easier. My advice to him as well was not to share private and government. So avoid working part-time in government and work part-time in private practice, because by doing that, you're keeping your safety with government with you, which means you will never progress in private. The first hiccup you will face in a private practice, you will resort back to government clinic and go back to government. So I have dentists who went back to government after a certain number of years, and I have dentists who made this work and opened their own private practice. The difference is you need to cut ties with the government clinic, so your mindset is not confused between completely two different businesses or two different mindsets. My advice is to cut ties with government clinic, join a private practice and make it work. Use every tool, every training, every communication skill, use every challenge, take a risk and make it work. Cut your safety net from the government clinic. And if you are really scared of your income, you should negotiate with the practice owner some sort of retainer for the first 3 or 6 months. If the private practice has solid appointment book with solid patient flow, they will have no issues offering you a retainer. But if the private practice is struggling to attract patients and the appointment book is empty, they will not offer you a retainer, and that should be a red flag for you. So for safety, you can ask for a retainer, but my advice, cut your ties with the government clinic. And just be open-minded, be willing to change, be very flexible. Everything you have been doing in the government might need be reversed. There are certain skills you can retain from there. but there is a lot of new skills you have to apply, and there is a lot of old habits you have to let go. The more flexible you are, the more you will make it work in the private practice work. The more inflexible you are, the more rigid you are, you will not survive in private practice, and you'll end up back to the government clinic, and nothing wrong with that. If this is working for you, I think that's okay. There is nothing wrong about failing in private and going back to government, and there is also nothing wrong about failing in government and only staying in private. Whatever will work best for you and your career, you should go for it. I hope you find this information helpful and valuable. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask me in the comment. Please like and share it to your friends and colleagues. Please subscribe to the channel so I can provide you with more content. Thank you very much.